Russia has been working on a horrifying new nuclear-powered cruise missile that can easily strike the UK and the US. This missile is known to be the most dangerous of them all, sometimes known as the Flying Chernobyl, due to its nuclear propulsion and double dual capabilities, traveling vast distances. This nuclear-armed weapon may outmaneuver and elude NATO air defenses by flying at low altitudes between 150 and 300 feet. The missile, according to claims, is also built to evade the American defenses. Keep watching to see how Russia is testing its new Flying Chernobyl missile, the burevestnik cruise missile. Why won't Putin stop perfecting it, and why should we worry about its creation? So make sure to stick around till the end of the video to find out. While Moscow does not have the best track record when it comes to testing the safety of nuclear weapons, experts think that Putin is unafraid. According to some defense researchers, Russia tested the newly built cruise missile many times at an Arctic site at Pankovo on Novaya Zemlya in the Barents Sea. Last year, satellite images revealed a testing site with a launch pad for the burevestnik, as well as fallout shelters and cargo containers. However, the researchers also added that there are many doubts regarding whether the system can be made to work successfully, let alone the damage that testing this system may cause to the environment and human health. Despite the unsuccessful tests, the burevestnik features some amazing traits not seen in previous cruise missiles. Most nuclear-tipped cruise missiles fly at medium altitudes to conserve fuel, resulting in a limited range. However, flying at middle altitudes allows the defense system to track the missiles and kill them with surface-to-air interceptors. Invasion of the nuclear power plant. On the other hand, the Flying Chernobyl's nuclear propulsion technology may give the weapon supersonic speed, evasive low altitude, and a range that could threaten military and civilian targets from a near unlimited range. Some sources also claim that Russia's assuming control of the Chernobyl nuclear reactor is intended as a warning to NATO against military intervention. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced an attempted Russian takeover of the Chernobyl nuclear plant. Russian invaders have taken over the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. According to Zelenskyy's tweets, "Our warriors are dying to stop a replay of the calamity of 1986. He claims that Russian and Ukrainian soldiers are fighting for control of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, the explosion of which sent radioactive fallout throughout Europe in April of 1986. Some officials in Ukraine have predicted that combat in the no-go zone could result in a major ecological catastrophe. If the nuclear waste storage site is destroyed as a result of artillery strikes by the occupiers, radioactive dust could spread across the area of Ukraine, Belarus, and the EU countries. Unfortunately, the Russian military has taken control of the Chernobyl nuclear power facility and the exclusion zone surrounding it, according to Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal on February 24th. Unfortunately, I must state that, as of now, the Chernobyl zone, the so-called exclusion zone, and all Chernobyl facilities have been taken over by Russian military organizations, Shmyhal said at a news conference following an extraordinary cabinet meeting in Kyiv. There are no victims at this time, according to the leadership of the Chernobyl exclusion zone, he adding that more information would be published following clarification. Putin does not care. Russian President Vladimir Putin stated that the weapon is to be perfected regardless of anything. According to Thomas Nilsson of the Barents Observer, the burevestnik poses an environmental risk. However, the radiation issues are obvious. For size and weight considerations, such a small airborne reactor has limited possibilities for holding a closed cooling circuit, presumably resulting in radioactive isotopes being released into the environment. The missile would emit exhaust that could contain radioactivity and float down, endangering humans and wildlife. Other aircraft could fly along the missile's flight path and take up radioactive fallout. doomsday weapons research is typical of Russia's defense strategy in Putin's Cold War mindset. The potential to cause environmental damage is not a significant consideration in his calculations. He will continue to disregard future nuclear disasters. If a nuclear-powered missile can detonate once, it can burst again, and the world must be informed that Russia is testing these deadly weapons. How could you possibly have a nuclear-powered, nuclear-tipped cruise missile? It's nothing more than a flying Chernobyl, according to Marshall Billingsley, who told the Senate Foreign Relations Committee in Washington, D.C. The burevestnik is known as the SSC-X-9 Skyfall by NATO and is thought to have exploded during covert rocket engine tests at sea in northern Russia last August, killing 5 scientists instantaneously and sending ordinary Russians rushing to pharmacies to get anti-radiation medication. According to National Interest, in the 1960s, the U.S. military also worked on a cruise missile powered by a small and dangerous atomic reactor, but they quickly realized it was not a brilliant idea. It was a nightmare for the ecology, Lewis explained. Every time the military fired a nuclear-powered cruise missile, even for testing purposes, it sent a potentially unstable reactor into the world with few safeguards in place to prevent mishaps. Thankfully, in 1964, the Pentagon discontinued this project. It's not a surprise, however, that Russian media have dubbed the burevestnik, which President Vladimir Putin has praised for its unlimited range and ability to avoid U.S. missile defenses, a tiny flying Chernobyl, according to the Moscow Times. President Putin advocates them as nationalistic, cutting-edge weapons to distract the population from his abysmal economic performance. Nearly 36 years after the Chernobyl nuclear tragedy in 1986, Europe may be on the verge of another nuclear calamity, with its largest nuclear plant under recurrent attack. The super weapon. The burevestnik cruise missile is one of 6 strategic weapons, commonly known as superweapons, displayed by Russian President Vladimir Putin during a ceremony at the Manege Central Exhibition Hall near the Kremlin in 2018. The Sarmat Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, or ICBM, Avangard Hypersonic Glide Vehicle, HGV, Poseidon Nuclear-Armed Underwater Unmanned Vehicle, UUV, Kinjal Air-Launched Hypersonic Missile, and Zircon Ship-Launched Hypersonic Missile are among the other super weapons. The burevestnik missile is steeped in mystery, thus little is known about it, yet numerous theories exist. The missile's length is 12 meters at launch and 9 meters in flight, according to Alexander Sharkovsky of Nezavismaya Gazeta. The nose is elliptical in design and measures 1.5 meters in length. Burevestnik is a nuclear thermal rocket with a solid-fueled booster engine. Its warhead is most likely a high-yield thermonuclear charge. According to Pavel Ivanov of VPK News, the burevestnik is 1.5 to 2 times larger than the KH-101. According to reports, this missile is carried by ground-based Transporter Erector Launcher, or TEL vehicles, such as the MZKT-7930. There are also design compromises with conventional cruise missiles. For example, it's challenging to combine both high speed and low observability in a conventional missile, since high speed requires a large amount of fuel, making the missile bulkier and easier to detect for opposing air defense radars. However, if a missile is to evade radar detection, trade-offs must be made regarding fuel, warhead size, and weight. As a result, it results in a slower missile with a short range and limited lethality. On the other hand, a nuclear-powered missile can be compact in size to avoid detection while also being highly quick and having indefinite endurance. Furthermore, the infinite range prevents the missile from opposing air defense systems by not following known trajectories. To make the strike successful, the missile has an infinite ability to change course and strike the opponent from any direction. Putin appears to have a firm commitment when it comes to this missile and is not prepared to listen to anyone's input. Nonetheless, if all of the data is accurate, then this missile poses a significant threat not only to Ukraine, but to all countries in the world. Will the Russians actually launch this missile, or is this a ploy to demoralize Russian adversaries? How should the world react to Putin's plan? And what do you think should be done to stop him? If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for regular military updates. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below. Thanks for watching.